So this week we're going to take a look at some additional modules, the math module and the random module. So let's take a look at what the math module has available. So we're going to go to the Python website, take a look at the documentation, and let's just do a quick search for math. All right, so the math module is the built-in module in Python, and it has different functions available. In this course, we will not use any kind of math that we can't do with basic operations. So it is not necessary to use the math module, but if you would like to use the math module, there are plenty of interesting functions in here. One is, let's see, we have got the exponent function. So instead of doing, a star star, we can actually take it to the power of e. We can do the log function. We can do the power function, where instead of, so this would be star star to the e, where we'd actually have to put in e 2.718 for those of you in more advanced math classes. The power function lets you raise a number to any power, number x to any power y. So if we wanted to raise, 2 to the 8th power, we would use math.pow 2 comma 8 instead of the star star operator. And it actually gives you kind of the difference. Unlike the built-in exponent operator, it converts both arguments to type float. So that's a nice little feature there. Square root, instead of taking things to the 1/2 power, which we learned about before, you can use the square root function. Also comes with all kinds of trig functions, and we can do some angular conversions, and it's even got some special functions. It contains some constants that we can only approximate, so we can do 3.14159, we could type that in, or we could use the math.pi, which takes it to a much more precise value. E as well is stored as a constant in the math function in a much more precise value. So math is just kind of a nice little module that is built in. Let's take a look at how to use it. We'll just do a couple of things. So here we go. As usual, we need to open up a new file if we're using idle. And we're going to call this module fun. And we'll make our comments. Gotta have some sort of date information. This video was made in the spring of 2019. And fun with math, and we'll use the same file when we take a look at random. So in order to use math, we need to import it. So we're going to import math, and then we could use some of the functions. So let's go ahead and see if we print math dot square root of 8, what we get. So let's run this. And we see that we get 2.8284272 available precision with a float. If we did the square root of 9, this should be 3 exactly. So we're going to get 3.0. So use the square root function. Another thing you might find useful is the power function. We can let's raise 2 to the 8th power. See what we get. 256. So there's really not a whole lot else in the math module that we'll need for this class, but if you're taking some math classes and you want to play around with Python and see what you can do with math using the math module, there's also a more advanced math module called NumPy that you can get online and be able to do even more advanced mathematics. Matplotlib is a great library that you can download and import, and you're able to do some graphs and visualization stuff. They're pretty cool. So now let's take a look at the random module. You are going to find this module very, very useful in this course. One of the things that is important to know about the random module is that it generates pseudo-random numbers, not actual random numbers. Even though the computer does the best that it can, any algorithm in a computer, a digital computer, is still an algorithm. There's still going to be a pattern, even though it may be a very long, repeating pattern. But you could use a digital computer to quickly calculate and run through that and find the pattern. So pseudo-random numbers are fine for games and things like that, but they're not okay for instance, security applications. You would need to have a genuinely random number generator, and those often have to be based on some sort of physical event in the world. So I've heard of people creating an actual random number generator by putting some sensors on their fish tank and actually using the random ways the fish move around the tank as the seed for generating random values. These would be much more actually random as opposed to just a purely generated, digital computer generated random number. So let's see what we've got inside the random module. Again, so here's the warning: pseudorandom generators should not be used for security purposes. There is a secrets module in Python that will get you some more secure random values if you need to use those. So let's see what's available in the random. So what we will be interested in is using rand range and rand int. So these are probably the primary ones that we'll use in this course, but there's some other ones available that as you learn more programming and you learn more about Python and you want to do some more advanced things, we've got some other awesome methods available. You can get random distributions, you can shuffle up some sequences, you can get choices from a sequence, which we'll talk more about when we talk about lists. But there's some other things that are available in the random module that we won't use in this course. So really for this course, what you're going to want to make sure you know is rand range and rand int. So let's see how these two work. All right. I am going to import the random module, and then I'm going to be able to use it to get a random value. So the rand int function will get us a value. So let's call this our value, our random value. We're going to call random.randint, and I'm going to give it a range of values. So if I say I want a number between 0 and 100 in rand int, this is inclusive. So this will get you a number between 0 and this is too big for us to start with. Let's just look at 0 and 10. So you'll see that hopefully if we run this enough times, we'll see that we get 0. This includes your number could be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10. Any of those values can be returned. The other function that we'll use is rand range, and this, let's see, this gets you a value, gets you a number between 0 and 9. The difference is, so this will be our value 2, and we're going to use random.randRange, and I'm going to put in the same parameters. But even though I chose from 0 to 10, randRange actually stops one before your end value. So if I use randint, I'm going to get a random integer between 0 and 10. If I use randRange, I'm going to get a number between 0 and 9 for the same start and stop condition. So this is going to get us whole numbers. If we go back and take a look at, here we go. If we go back and take a look at the description of these functions, it's going to return a randomly selected event. We give it a start, a stop, and this step I didn't include in my parentheses because the default value is 1. So that's going to return us 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. It's going to return us one of those values. If I put a 2 in here, it would only return us 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, just those. So you can actually, count by twos, count by threes, and you could use this. It's not very often used, but that's a possibility. So versus rand int, again, you're going to get a random integer, and it's going to include that final value. So here, rand range is more sophisticated about producing equally distributed values. So this is just a little bit more advanced to use if you just need a random integer. Rand int is the way to go. So let's see how this works. I'm going to print, we'll say, using rand int plus, we're going to cast our value as a string, plus using rand range, plus, I want to concatenate here, so I'm casting as a string our value 2. All right, so let's run it, see if we have any syntax errors. We don't, although I should put a space in there. So using randint, we got 9. Using rand range, we got 1. Let's keep running that. So here we're going to put a period space just so it looks a little nicer. Let's run it again. All right, we got 2 and we got 3. Run it again. We got 6, we got 2. Run it again. We got 8, we got 8. Run it again. We got 4 and 4. Running. 8 and 9. Run. 4 and 3. Run. 0 and 4. 0 and 9. We got 9. Running it again, 2 and 0. So you can keep running these and you should see that you will get 0 to 10. Those values will show up over time, but when we use rand range, this 10 will not show up over time. So experiment with this, play around a little bit, and see how you can generate a random value.